Bournemouth 4, Chelsea 0. Our biggest defeat of the season and a shocking, absolutely disgraceful second half as we concede all 4 goals after not a half bad and slightly unfortunate first period, while Chelsea failed to score in 3 consecutive away games for the first time since 2002 under Claudio Ranieri. To find out everything about the game as it happened, be sure to watch all of this review. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my review of the Bournemouth 4, Chelsea 0 game. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. I'm not even like that angry or, I don't know, disappointed. I'm just shocked. What on earth was that? What on earth was that? Do you know what I mean? Like, we got what we all hoped for. Emerson Palmieri started left back, Let's just go straight into it. Leave a like if you enjoy it, subscribe if you haven't already, and all of that. But the lineup, it was pretty much what we hoped for, except that I didn't get Loftus-Cheek started. But other than that, it was pretty much as, what we wanted, kind of. Like, Kepa with in goal, the back four of Azpilicueta, Emerson, like I said, started left back, Rudiger and Luiz, a midfield three of Jorginho, N'Golo Kanté, and Mateo Kovacic. And then a front three of Hazard, then Pedro on the wings with Gonzalo Higuain starting up front. And, the first half wasn't even bad. We had 2, early sloppy moments by Pedro when he gave the ball away twice. For the first one, Luiz got absolutely blasted in the face with the ball as he blocked the shot. Basically knocked him out almost anyway. And then another one where Pedro just stupidly gave the ball away. Then in the 7th minute, Kovacic actually hits the bar after ridiculously good save by Arthur Borich in the, Bournemouth goal. How old is he? 37, 38. Can you just stop doing that? Can goalkeepers just stop turning into the best goalkeepers in the world when they play against us? We've hit the woodwork 17 times this season. 17 times. I don't know what the second most is, but the commentator said basically far more than any other team. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I mean, of course, if we score that, probably go to win that game pretty comfortably. But, that didn't quite turn out that way, did it now? But yeah, the first half I didn't think was all that bad, especially at the start. And we didn't create all that much. I do understand that Hazard had a few shots and, like I say, obviously when Kovacic headed the ball against the bar after the Borich save, Pedro just lofted it in. Higuain just about didn't get that. Kovacic for once actually arrived at the far post, put off a good header, got it on target, but like I say, keeper directed it on the bar. At times, we actually even played good football in that first half. Some great attacks, some actual Sarri ball attacks with quick passing football to get ourselves in front of the opponent's goal, but then not doing much with it with poor finishes, especially where Pedro overall just had an awful game, quite frankly. But then as the first half went on, they just kept hitting us on a counter. At the start of the game, we were so good at winning the ball back so quickly. We're pushed up really high up the pitch. Jorginho playing really well, Kanté playing really well, Emerson, Aspi winning the ball back so well, Luiz and Rudiger as well. Kovacic not really doing much except, hitting the bar with the header. We were just so good in winning the ball back and then we just stopped winning the ball back and they kept hitting us on the counter-attack. Not really creating any huge chances for the most part in the first half. But still, they kept getting through and then, well, I thought the first half, like I say, wasn't that bad. We had obviously the Kovacic chance and then we had a few other chances as well. And I just felt we needed that break. Higuain even I thought was pretty good. very good passes, good movement. And, just lacking that understanding with his teammates. Azpilicueta had a ridiculous shot with his weaker left foot, flying into that far top corner. Somehow saved by Borich. Again, a ridiculously good save. And, but instead of kind of, just capitalising on actually playing pretty well in the first half, just letting them have too many counter-attacks as the half went on, we were 1-0 down after 90 seconds in the second half. It was actually ridiculous. It was, I thought, a poor goal to concede as well. Yes, they played it well. And, like I say, they did play it out well to get into that position in the end. But we just stood off them way too much, basically by the touchline. 3 of our players just stood off them and they just, allowed them to cross it into the box when it was crossed to David Brooks, who was an absolute menace today. Incredible. Like, he was so good. We could not handle him. I've not really, properly paid attention to him when I've watched Bournemouth, but today he was ridiculous. He caused us all sorts of trouble. Anyway, ball was crossed to him. He then laid it back to Josh King and made a run into the box and then just blasted it in from pretty close range from inside the box just past Kepa, but we were 1-0 down. And obviously then you think, all right, 1-0 down. Okay, we're not that confident recently with scoring goals and, all of that. So I wasn't all that confident already. And then N'Golo Kanté misses a huge chance with just under an hour played. A great ball by Pedro into Kanté, made a good run into the box, similar to the goal he scored against Crystal Palace around Christmas. But this time he just miscontrolled the ball and, let the chance go basically. And, well, that was gone and he really should have equalised there. And that, again, would have just changed the complexity of the game completely. But after that, the second half was just all over the place. We didn't create anything. Honestly, I don't think we created a thing in the second half that was worth mentioning at least. Ruben had a half chance when he came on, but, other than that, nothing. Willian came on for Pedro. Pedro was awful. Willian came on, was no better. And then David Luiz was an absolute howler. Absolute howler as he passed the ball straight to the opponent around the centre circle. Then actually, he goes to tackle him and wins the ball back. But then he just falls right back to another Bournemouth player, to Josh King. Then Rudiger and Luiz, absolutely no communications. Rudiger went for King as well to try and close him down. But Luiz was already on his way there, leaving the other side of our defensive side basically completely open. Where David Brooks made the run to. Josh King just finds him with an easy pass. And then, David Brooks, like I say, he was really good today. Found himself a gap with a simple turn and then placed it in to make it 2-0. That was it. Like, our heads were absolutely gone. Brooks then really should have made it 3-0 not long after, following another huge mistake in midfield. Olivier Giroud then had just come on for Gonzalo Higuain, which, didn't change a thing either. Actually, can I speak? No, Giroud was just even worse than Higuain, just so much more worse. And then, a 2-0, Bournemouth just seemed happy with that. And we were like, oh, let's try something at least, even though we clearly didn't look comfortable in ourselves. We had all of the ball again, but just did absolutely nothing. All we did was being all over the place. It was like that Spurs game at Wembley, obviously, when we lost that 3-1 in the league. It was ridiculous. We were so open. We were so good defensively, for the most part at least, for so many weeks now. Very good defensively. And today, it was just a shambles. Absolute shambles. And let's not forget, Bournemouth were missing arguably the best player in Callum Wilson. Because he didn't make the game. He wasn't fit in time. Ridiculous. It was so bad. In the 75th minute then, Bournemouth just put us to bed. Killed us off. And, they made it 3-0. Stanislas was played in behind. Obviously quicker than David Luiz. Don't know where Emerson was, in all honesty. Don't know where they should have been. Now I'm all over the place as well. I'm all over the place as were the players tonight. And then Stanislas unselfishly just squared it to Josh King inside the box, who blasted the top corner just to rub it in even more from inside the box and made it 3-0, like I say. After that goal, Ruben Loftus-Cheek finally came on for Kovacic, who, as always, doesn't do anything. Okay, he hit the bar this time and got a bit unfortunate with that. But after that, didn't do anything. And, it was just a too little too late, I guess. I mean, fair enough if Ruben Loftus-Cheek isn't fit to start. But, he could have come on a little bit earlier than that. I mean, Loftus-Cheek, only moments, like a minute after he came on, had a good chance for a consolation goal and just about put it wide of the far post. And it was a tricky chance as well, but it was still decent. And it took him literally 1 minute to get into the box in a good position as many times as Kovacic did, in the previous 75 minutes. It's actually ridiculous. And then, obviously, to make things worse, in injury time, in the last minute of injury time, we actually managed to concede another. We actually lost 4-0 to Bournemouth. As if losing 3-0 last year under Conte at home was bad enough. Now we go and lose 4-0. Right, as, Charlie Daniels scored with a header following a free kick from wide by the touchline. They just chipped in and he just won the header and put it in over our defenders and next to Kepa. And it was just all over the shop. And I don't even know what to say. I don't want to put this on Emerson now. Like, obviously not. But it is very strange that all of a sudden that he plays. We're out of nowhere, horrible again defensively. Like I just said, we were pretty good for a good while defensively. Didn't concede many goals, didn't concede all that many chances, weren't just caught by just players running in behind all the time. That didn't really happen that much. But today it was just dreadful. I honestly, I don't know what was going on. And to me, and that might sound harsh, but the two worst players today, or well, three, were the two wingers. They were absolutely shocking. Hazard, Pedro and Willian. They did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're trying to play quick passing football and then you have Eden Hazard there, who's by far our best player and he plays so well in so many games. But then he just keeps the ball way too long all the bloody time. Or him, Pedro, Willian, they try these stupid back heels that never come off because the opponent's, say 20 yards within their goal. It's just so crowded. They make it so difficult against us. You can't even just be angry at them not creating more, like the whole team, because they just make it so difficult. But then you just need to get that moment and score and not concede 4. But they just don't do anything. They keep the ball for way too long and then run around the box and then they square it back to Higuain or to Jorginho or Kovacic or Kante. Just lay back. Might as well have not done whatever you've just done around the box. They just do nothing. And I don't know what the reason is. That's why for a while I said I don't actually mind Hazard down the middle because at least he's then just not just wasting things out wide. Of course he has these moments where he's incredible and he has these games where he's incredible. I'm not saying Hazard is awful. But in some of these games he just doesn't do anything. And I have him at a higher standard than Pedro and Willian. So I expect more from him than Pedro and Willian. Even though they are just as bad. He was still a bit better than Pedro and Willian, I guess. But still wasn't good enough. Higuain was constantly pointing them to pass, through the lines, basically, when he was making good runs. And those passes were options, It's not like they were impossible to complete because, the passing lanes were covered. those were options, but they either waited too long or didn't pass at all. Dima was making good runs and he would have had easy finishes multiple times, but those passes just didn't come. Jorginho, like I say, started off pretty well, had a good game, I thought, really good game first half, in the start of the first half, the first 25, 30 minutes. Kovacic, all over the shop, but one thing my main issue with Maurizio Sarri, of course, you can all talk about, Kante should play somewhere else, Jorginho should play somewhere else. Stop talking. It's not going to happen, and it's also wrong anyway. You have your opinion, I have mine. But the fact that Kovacic keeps starting in that position when he does absolutely nothing, it's so difficult for me to criticise him like that today because he actually had that header in the 7th minute, and if that goes in, it's a completely different game, we'll probably win it. But generally, he just doesn't do anything. He just does not do anything. The guy hasn't scored for club and country in 95 games, and he has, 2, 3 assists this season? So it's not like people criticise Jorginho for not having an assist. Well, Kovacic plays way further up the pitch and has 2 or 3. Well, great. Do you know what I mean? Like, what does that do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We need Ruben Loftus-Cheek to play there. I don't care what anyone says. He needs to play there. If he wasn't fit to start today, still, because we don't want to rush it back after his obviously back injury, fair enough. But once he is, he needs to start there. We need to get someone in the box, especially against all of these teams that just sit so deep. They just crowd everything. They just put everything they have within, they just don't even go any wider than the 6-yard box. They just cramp it at the edge of their box. That's all they do. And then obviously you can't pass through that. Then we start shooting, then we have bad shots, and then we try crossing it low constantly, which obviously is not going to work. Crossing it high isn't going to work either because it doesn't matter whether it's Giroud, Morata, Higuain. The striker isn't going to win the header against 3 or 4 players in the box. It's not going to happen. So what do? You need to pass so much more quickly. You need to move so much more. And the quicker passing needs to happen, especially in the final 20 metres or 20 yards of the pitch. And that's where it's the wingers, and the wingers don't pass it quickly enough. I'm kind of repeating myself. I'm going off on one today. I'm not sticking to the notes because I'm just annoyed, really. They just need to move more as well, and they just need to pass it quicker as well. They get the ball, then what? I guess I understand that they don't have options to pass it to either, and that's then basically a problem with the midfield of them not moving enough, especially Kovacic and also Kante and the fullbacks at times, and then but Hazard just moves around so slowly, and then Pedro as well. Then we just pass it around by the touchline. And then do what? Cross it into Higuain anywhere when there's about 50 people in the box. What's that going to do? I mean, people criticise, Higuain already and saying he's awful and we should have signed Piatek. Did you see Piatek's goals yesterday for AC Milan because he scored 2 in his debut against Napoli? None of those situations would have ever happened because Bournemouth never gave us anywhere near that much space. So it's ridiculous, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek needs to play. And to be honest, I'm a little bit gobsmacked. And, the summary of our season so far is 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Then 2 steps forward, and 2 steps back. Then another step forward and then about 3 steps back. All that happens is that our manager has to give the squad an absolute bollocking every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks if you will. Then we play well for 1 or 2 games and then we just turn to shit again. It's ridiculous. We don't move enough, we don't pass quickly enough, and I've been saying this since fucking October or November, whatever it was. It's the same 2 things since then, and we still haven't fucking changed them for the exception of a few games, like Spurs in the League Cup semi-final, obviously, in the second leg. That was different. That's why we played really well. That's why we deserved to win. That's why we created huge amount of chances against them. Not because, they had a bad day and they were missing their attackers. Bournemouth's attackers today were not any better than the ones that Spurs fielded against us. That was not the reason. We just actually moved and passed and created chances. Today we did not do that enough. And obviously, also if you get unlucky in the first half and hit the bar, well, we just need to capitalise on actually dominating games in the first half. We just don't do that enough. And I just don't feel confident in us scoring. I mean, hopefully with Higuain here, you can't be mad at Higuain. You really cannot. The guy's been here for a week. I really hope that Emerson can stay in the side because I still think he's better than Alonso, even though, defensively it wasn't great. Not necessarily by him, by everyone, but he's part of the defensive team, so he didn't do well either in that aspect. But he didn't do much going forward either, but we just didn't use that left side enough, in my opinion, either. And when we did, it was over the top balls for him to run it behind, which he did well, but then the passes were usually overhit. It was shocking, absolutely shocking, and, obviously, what can we do except move on upwards and onwards and, go again? It's annoying and we need to do something. We need to do something. It's not a system thing. It's just we need to work harder. We need to move more. We need to pass quicker. Like Sarri said in his press conference, it's not a physical problem that we have. It's not a system problem that we have, in his opinion, and I agree with that. It's not a system problem, in my opinion, anyway. It's just a mentality problem. I don't know. Do we go to these places, then we just go so cocky, so overconfident. We just press way too high to let them hit us on account of, way too many times. then we just make these sloppy passes like Luis there. Luis is having an unbelievable season. Then he's had these 2 games like Spurs and today, just proper threw it away. All right, you got blasted in the head today. Maybe we're going to blame it on a concussion as well, like Liverpool did for the Champions League final. Maybe we're going to do that, because why not? Just to save grace. No, because that's ridiculous. He didn't do well, especially for that second goal. But, what else can I say? I'm gutted. I'm all over the place today. I don't know. I don't know what we do. I just hope that we do better against... Is it Huddersfield on the weekend? I think it is. So yeah, I mean, it's deadline day tomorrow. Are we going to sign a Fabregas replacement? Of course not. Even though Rudiger looked shattered today, when he wouldn't have needed to play had we signed a Fabregas replacement, because then Ampadu could have played at centre-back on Sunday and Rudiger wouldn't have needed to play. But no, people don't seem to understand Ampadu can be our midfield backup. Yeah, then we don't have enough backup for centre-back. Great job. We need a Fabregas replacement. Are we going to get one tomorrow? Probably not. But yeah, I mean, that's really it for me. I don't have anything else to say. I'm gobsmacked and... annoyed. It's just annoying. I mean, yeah. Leave me all of your thoughts on the game down in the comments section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video somehow. Check out my social media, which is last1507 on both Instagram and Twitter, as you can see over here, and also the links to both of them are down in the description below. So if you would follow me over there, that'd be absolutely great. And of course, this is YouTube. So if you haven't already, please do be sure to subscribe to 100% Chelsea, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads. And that was probably the quickest outro I've ever done. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. As always, it's upwards and onwards. And I'll see you next time.